Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Racing Bros NASCAR Podcast, episode 32. I am here with my co-host, Brian. Brian, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Also, I am Zach, by the way, if you guys didn't know. I am the host. I am supreme leader of this.
Yeah, exactly.
Brian is the Kevin Harvick of this. He's just going to get straight booed this entire time. I'm Chase Elliott. Everyone's going to love me. So let's get on with it. But what a wild fucking race, man.
Wild and exciting.
So, the first two stages doesn't even matter. Let's just... Who cares? No, I'm kidding. We'll recap everything, but it'll be mostly heavy in stage 3. But, we're going to get on with the first two stages. So, first stage, really nothing happened. I mean, honestly, just, they're just driving. Just like a nice Sunday drive out there. I mean, nothing of note happened. But
it's sad because it's true.
Yeah, Hamlin won stage 1. It was a battle between him and Larson, kind of at the end of stage 1. He got some help from his own team, the 2311. Kind of 23 got in front of the 5, kind of took away his line. So Hamlin got the first stage win. Chase Elliott had a speeding penalty, so he had to go to the back at the start of stage 2. Newman, Cole Custer, Daniel Suarez, and Bubba Wallace all got into a little bit of a caution right there. Newman was pretty much destroyed. 99 was pretty damaged. 41 was damaged. And then Bubba Wallace had some right front damage. Looked like Newman just tried to clear himself over Cole Custer right there. So, followed on Newman. He was out of the race. And then we had, our first little inkling of playoff drama. We saw the 10 car was like randomly smoking, and everyone's like, whoa, why is he smoking? And then we find out that it was like a cracked oil line, I believe. So like the oil line, something was cracked or is leaking out. So they got that changed. Good on the pit crew. I was surprised he actually stayed on the lead lap, especially at Bristol, with how small the track is and how slow you go on pit road. I was kind of surprised that they kept on the lead lap to fix that issue. And then shout out to NASCAR. They saw that there was like liquid on the track, like some fluid and stuff. So they took a little longer caution. They're like, hey, we're gonna put some speedy dry down just to make sure. So I give them also credit on that. We didn't want a fucking New Hampshire or COTA scenario where cars are literally crashing in the first turn because there's oil on the track. So good job, NASCAR, for taking a little bit extra time. We didn't want that scenario again. So they're learning. They're getting up there. So good on them. We'll give them credit where credit is due. Then we had Anthony Alfredo, BJ McLeod, and Justin Haley all get together. It's kind of, Bristol shit happening. And then stage 2, Larson won. Okay, so that was kind of like, it was a pretty mundane Bristol race. I mean, it was also like, it was good. First two stages, like I had no problems with it. Just, not a lot of action. Just there's action, but it wasn't like, noteworthy. Just kind of watching and like, oh, okay. Pass here, there. Some Eric Almirola drama. We're watching the cut line. Ooh, like William Byron's still like 7 points out, and Bowman's right on the cut line. And why is Kurt Busch running so bad? Kurt Busch ran really bad today. I was kind of shocked how bad Kurt Busch kind of ran today. Like, they fully missed the setup. They're running like mid-20s the entire fucking race. I'm like, huh? Like, it was so weird to see. So that was kind of weird to see. And then, so stage, I think it was started stage 3. The 8 car had to pit again because his lugs weren't tight. So they came down pit road, and they had to tighten up all the lungs. I think he went a lap down because of it. Then after this, the stage 2 caution with the 38, the 78, and 77, there's only about 27 laps left. So some people took tires, some people didn't. So the people that took tires stayed out. So Kevin Harvick and Blaney were on the front row. Started stage 3. Harvick was leading. Blaney eventually got around him, and then Harvick took it back. Then we had 2 cautions from Quinn Houff, flat tire. Rip Quinn. We love Quinn on the show, but Quinn did not have a great day with the 00. And then we get to the last 100 laps was pretty insane. So we're going to talk about Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson kind of getting together. Looked like Hamlin kind of swung up high or tried to door Larson or whatever and got into his left rear, and that cut his right front immediately. Hamlin goes on the wall, get a caution, and then the 18, Kyle Busch has a flat. So he was 24 points up, and NBC did a great job with this. They had a live points tracker. So literally Kyle Busch is going down pit road, and we're literally watching real time Kyle Busch plus 24, plus 20, plus 17, plus 10. We're holy shit. And then he got all the way to plus 2. Dude, if I was a Kyle Busch fan, I would be going insane right there. I'd be losing my mind. I'd be like, oh my god, Kyle's going to get out now because of a fucking flat tire. And then
he would have lost to Tyler Reddick.
Yeah, there's positions to gain right there for Tyler Reddick and Eric Almirola, because if they could have found those positions, Kyle Busch could be saying a different story right now,
Right.
So then, the 18 car had a flat. 10 laps later, Harvick and Chase Elliott's battling for the lead, and Kevin Harvick kind of slides up into Chase Elliott's door. Nothing egregious, it's Bristol. There's going to be some, beating and banging shit happening. So it wasn't anything egregious. It was just kind of door slamming. It's NASCAR. We got fucking fenders for a reason. And then that cut down the left front of Chase Elliott's car. So he had to come down and pit. And, he was pissed on the radio. So then he got new tires. He was a couple laps down, but he was right by Harvick again. Passed 4 or 5 cars before he got to Harvick. Got to Harvick, took a swipe at him. I think he was trying to cut down his tire as well. So he just took a swipe at him, showed him that he was not happy. And then he kind of pulled Logano or Ross Chastain at Atlanta, where he just kind of ran Kevin Harvick's lane. He had so much fresher tires, but he just kind of stayed just ahead of Harvick, just so he can take away his line, make it harder for Harvick to even get around him. And then Kyle Larson was chasing him down. But before that, the 20 car had the pit for some right front damage. He got some, I think he was battling I think he got a right front flat, and then he hit a slower car, Josh Bilicki. So he got some damage. He was pretty much in the clear, so he wasn't too dangerous. I think he was 9-10 points up still after his issue, so he was okay. But Harvick was leading, and then Chase Elliott was kind of taking his line. He wasn't blocking or anything. He just kind of taking his line away, making Harvick really work for it. And then Larson comes up, and with 4 laps to go, he passes Harvick. And I rewatched this last 50 laps 5 or 6 times. I didn't know Kyle Larson almost died right there. When
he started getting squirrely, and then he saved it.
Yeah, Harvick really fucking hit him. I didn't think he was trying to crash him or anything, but it was holy shit. He almost took him out. But Larson.
I'm gonna be honest. I kind of figured that after the whole Chase Elliott thing happened, that Harvick was just. I don't know if he was angry at the fact that Chase came up at his door. I mean, you would expect he would be, or if it was even before then that he was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna plot to completely take the winner out." You know, I'm sure it was just frustration he got into Larson.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't think he did it on purpose, anything or like that. I just think Harvick's just trying to drive hard.
Yeah,
I think it's just like more or less, probably a little frustrated with. No, probably mostly frustrated with Chase, like kind of taking away his line, slowing him up.
right.
But also like he's trying to get his first win in like a whole year. So it's just kind of driving hard, trying not to give it up as well. I mean, if he would have crashed Larson, that would have been something else. But I don't think he was trying to do that on purpose at all. Just got into him. Maybe he was trying to give him a bumper, but I don't think at all tried to right rear him into the wall. But good save by Larson, and then he ends up winning the race. And we had some conflict on pit road. So Harvick pulled up right to Chase, sending him in the bumper, hitting him on pit road and stuff. And then Chase gets out of the car, helmet off, a real man. And then him and Harvick are going at each other. Point fingers. Chase pointing fingers at Harvick. And the most altercation that was there is kind of like some shoving. And then they talked about it like afterwards in the garage area. And then they actually went into Chase Elliott's hauler, right? Like to actually talk about it more in private, which I thought was super like different, than usually it's handled. Usually it's handled with fisticuffs, or in like the media, they're like, "Hey, fuck this guy." Or they give him a phone call, in the weekly, "Hey, I'm sorry for running into you, man." But no, they hashed it out. Legends say that they're still hashing it out right now at Bristol. They're still in that hauler to this day, still trying to talk it out. TBD on if they're going to start Las Vegas, because they're still talking about Bristol. So we'll see if they're in the actual race. But yeah, it was kind of different, because usually it's just handled with some shoving, fisticuffs in the media, calling him a trash driver. But it I guess it kind of shows like how much they might have respect for each other. Like, hey man, we know how you race. Let's settle this out right now. Like, if this was Kyle Busch and fucking Joey Logano, there'd not be talking. There'd be fisticuffs to be fucking dealt with, But I guess Jason Harvick handled it pretty mature for the situation, trying to hash it out in like the haulers and, away from all the cameras and stuff. But I hope that it's not resolved, because it makes it more exciting if we have a rivalry. Like when Chase gets next to Harvick in Las Vegas, like it's like, ooh, they're gonna be racing a little harder, making them work a little bit. But yeah, you can't really. I don't think you could really put either driver in the wrong. Like, I don't think Harvick went in there and just like, I'm gonna cut Chase Elliott's left front tire, and I mean, Chase wasn't even really blocking Harvick. He was just kind of running his line, so it wasn't anything like bad that happened on the track. That you could be like, whoa, that was out of line, like kind of a Matt Kenseth or Joey Logano situation where you're like, where Matt Kenseth just absolutely like killed Joey Logano. I mean, personally, that was pretty awesome to me, but objectively, that was kind of like, whoa, Matt, like, what was that? But they didn't do anything egregious where you could put blame on one driver. I mean, it's just racing, rubbing's gonna happen, and it just happened. So hopefully it's not resolved, because I want to see this rivalry all the way through the playoffs. It's kind of be interesting, especially at like Charlotte Roval or something, and Harvick's on the outside looking in, or even Chase, like, and they're around each other. Like, I want to see how they're gonna settle that.
Yeah, and I mean, you're talking about the most winningest driver last year,
Mm-hmm.
who has no wins this season,
Correct.
going against last year's Cup Series champion.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you think of this like hockey and throw the gloves down, or do you just like? I mean,
I wish they would have let them fight. Come on. But
well, let's think about it into Vegas. So let's say Chase and Kevin are right next to each other.
they would just probably. I think it's just.
You think they would race it hard, right?
Oh, for sure. If I was in that situation, I'm definitely racing the guy hard the rest of the
Right.
playoffs. Like,
So now you think about it this way. If I don't know, let's say Chase is on the bottom line and then Kevin's on the high line. What happens if Chase hits Kevin? Is it going to be like, okay, well now we're fighting for sure, or is it going to be, let's be bums again and let's just keep battling the entire time?
I don't know. I guess it really depends situation and stuff. I mean, if Chase got in the Harvick, yeah, and he felt like it was on purpose, I think definitely some fisticuffs will be assessed.
Yeah.
I mean, Harvick is also 45 years old, so Harvick could probably kick some ass still. I have not seen Kevin Harvick wild eyes like that in at least a decade. At least I was younger, because Kevin Harvick looked fucking mad when he got out of that car. He ripped off that helmet. He's slamming the helmet on the roof. He's like, oh, I thought his glasses were about to get smashed. I was like, oh man, that's gonna suck. I hope he has. Does he have some backups for those glasses?
Oh, I'm sure.
Does he have some contact lenses? I could just imagine Kevin Harvick going to lens crafters, I don't know, Wednesday, today or something.
He's just there. And
At a mall in North Carolina. He's just yeah, I smashed my glasses. How'd you do that?
How'd you do that?
I slammed my race helmet on them on top of my car after this fucking bum did this chicken shit move on me, and yeah, they're just here's some new glasses, Mr. Harvick.
we're not gonna say anything.
Yeah, here you go. Not even question at all. But no, they're just gonna race hard. I think if there's more contact, I guess it depends on the severity of the contact.
Yeah.
If Chase hit Harvick and he went spinning around and maybe even fucking hit the wall, I think there's not going to be any chatting. I would say that. I would say Harvick would probably, the helmet would be either coming off or, he would keep the helmet on and just fucking fight him in the car or something. I think there would be definitely fisticuffs if there was ever a wreck involving contact. Even if Harvick, if Harvick gets in the chase and then Chase hits the wall and stuff, if I'm Chase Elliott, you got to fight him.
Right.
This guy took you out last week. This is how Chase Elliott views it. This guy just cut your left front, your left front tire last week and took you out to fucking win. And then this guy this week, you have a long conversation about probably respect on the racetrack and shit like that. And then even if he made a mistake or something and he crashes you, you got to fight him. I'm sorry. Yeah. You got to go over there and kick some ass or try to kick some ass. That is fisticuff action. You got to do that for your team. If you don't do that, why are you even out there? Do you even care? That's how my viewpoint would be if I was Chase Elliott and that happened. I'd be okay, well, we just had this talk about, respect on the racetrack or blah, blah, blah. How do you race this and stuff like that. And we had this long conversation. And I felt like you took me out at Bristol. And then he mentioned also Darlington. He said that Kevin door slammed him as well. So, 3 strikes, you're out, buddy. I'm tired. I gave you the fucking finger in your face last time. It ain't no fucking finger. This is time to go. This is drop the gloves. Let's go. And then I also want to like make a comment. Who the fuck was that guy in the white shirt for like Kevin Hart? Like, was that his like PR guy? Was that like I don't know, a friend or his fucking his dry cleaner or something? Like, who is that guy? What is he doing there? Because like every time Chase would say something, he would be like, "Oh my god," and like roll his eyes, and I'm like, who is this fucking guy? Like, I was literally like, Chase, can you at least punch him? Like, can you punch that guy? Like, you don't even have to punch Harvick right here. Just punch this guy in the shirt, because literally he's just like, oh my god, what? Like, I'm like, who is this? Like, why is this guy down here? Like, can someone like chokehold him or something? Like, Chase Elliott's crew. Like, can you get down there and just like move him out the way, or like Hendrick or William Byron? Can you like send down your crew guys and like, back up Chase or something and just get this guy fucking out of here? Because like, oh my god, that guy was annoying. I'm like, get out of there. This doesn't involve you. Like, get out. Like, Harvick can handle his own shit.
He's a grown man.
Yeah, he's a grown ass man. I've seen Kevin Harvick do fucking worse. Okay. I think he can handle it, He's been in some scuffles before. I'm sure this is not the first time. But, yeah, so now we got to review that exciting, exceptional, fantastic, right? I mean, let me go on a little bit of a rant here. If you're a NASCAR fan at all, if you don't like this race, or you think this is not a good race or a great race, you're not a NASCAR fan. I'm sorry, because this is exactly what NASCAR was built on. Rubbins racing, tempers flaring, people fucking pissed at each other, playoff drama, fucking battling for the lead with 3 laps to go and close finish. Like, this is fucking NASCAR right here. Like, if you don't like this, like, go watch something else, because this right here is NASCAR. This is a fucking NASCAR race, This race brought out, like, an emotion in me that I have not felt for a while. Like, I know I have a big Alex Bowman shirt on, but my favorite driver ever when I was a young kid was Dale Jr. And, whenever I'd see him race, I would get all giddy, like, oh my god, hopefully, he's going to have a great finish, or Dale Jr. wins, like, oh my god, or like even now when he does the Xfinity stuff, like, I always make a point to watch it, because, that's my driver, that's my guy. I've been watching him since I was literally could start talking. I want a Budweiser, Dad. But yeah, it's just like I haven't felt like that. I love Alex Bowman. I love when he wins. I'm so happy and super pumped, but like, there's always like a first guy that you're always like, that brings you into the sport that you kind of love. Like Brian, it was like Jimmy Johnson or Ryan Newman was kind of his guys.
Yep.
McKinnon. So like, if Ryan Newman fucking won, I'm sure Brian would be going insane. He'd be like,
Probably.
oh my god, like Newman. But it's those first guys that really bring you in. So it brings like a certain emotion in you that you want to see your guy do well. But this race, like, I don't know, the last like 100 laps with all the action, like, I felt like a little kid, like, watching a race. I was all giddy. I was like, oh my god, they're beating a pig, and I'm like, oh my god, Kyle Busch is having trouble. Now Christopher Bell. No, Hamlin's in the wall. Now, oh my god, Chase Elliott's got a left front. Oh, they're rubbing. Oh, here comes Kyle. Like, I was screaming, like, literally, it was like that meme of like, what is it? Mr. Krabs, like that Dizzy meme, like looking all over. Like, that was literally in my head, like the last 100 laps. Like, I was going crazy. Like, I couldn't even. I had to watch it like 4 or 5 times. So am I watching this? Like, and also like 50 laps in Bristol's like 15 minutes at most. So it's just like all this action packed in like 15 minutes. Like, oh my god. But yeah, that that last like 50 to like 75 laps just brought like an emotion out that I have not felt in a while. Like I get super happy when Junior runs through the Xfinity stuff, but it's not the same as the Cup stuff. But like how he's running every week and hoping he does well, but it just brought out kind of that similar emotion. Like I was super giddy after this race. Like I was texting Brian, I'm like, oh my god. But yeah, this race is NASCAR right here. I mean, if you don't like it, I'm sorry, you just don't like NASCAR. It's not for you. But this race, I never thought we would have a race like this, but I got to give it 100. I mean, purely, totally biased, probably. I mean, not even biased, because my driver didn't even win. But, like, it was just, like, a suit, like, objectively, it's probably not 100 race. It's probably, like, 95 or something, like, objectively. But, like, purely, going off of heart and emotion and just, like, what I felt during those last 100 laps, it was, like, poetry and fucking motion. It was perfect race for me. This is 100. This is 100.
That's it's understandable. I mean, I do kind of I disagree with what you said earlier about it being a good or a great race, because that's a little lowball. I think it was like an exceptional or excellent race at least.
Right.
So, going off of what you said, I do 100% agree. It's probably the best racing we've seen all year. The last two stages were filled with fights.
Mm-hmm.
The final stage literally caused a fight. Which, I mean... Oh, man. I mean, we obviously went over that already, so it's, Right. We had Larson and Hamlin going back and forth, constantly back and forth, for the win, for stage win, until, the whole thing happened. There was a little bit of beating, banging. Hamlin had a flat tire.
Mm-hmm.
I do kind of have to say, though, the first stage, I kind of felt that it was a little less eventful. And, there was good stuff that happened during the race. I mean, during the first stage. It was good racing. You had fights for first place. Eventually, Denny started getting away, and then here comes Larson, sneaking up. Boom, he's there now. But then Denny ended up winning the stage. So, when it comes down to it, it wasn't as bad as some of the other races we've had throughout the year, at all. I mean, our highest rated race to this day is Darlington, with a 97. And I think it completely shattered Darlington.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely agree with you that I think that this was the race of the year. And I initially thought about giving it a 98, but then I'm like, okay, well, a 98 ties me with Darlington. And I'm like, again, I already said, Darlington wasn't as good of a race as this.
Double 100. Come on. Do it, Brian.
I couldn't give it 100 just because of the first stage.
99.5. Come on. Bring it up.
But because of the last two stages, it completely saved the race, in my opinion. The rating of the race, in my opinion. I don't think we could have got any better, and I don't think there could have been a better finish. I did end up giving it a 100.
Yes! Double 100! Yes! Yes, I am double fist pumping right now, if you guys are on audio. Yes!
I honestly think that this is what we look forward to every race. Like, this is what we want every race to be.
Yeah, it's just... I mean, honestly, if we had, like, the racing in stage 1 or something, it probably would have been, like, an 80, 85 or something.
Yeah, I would say that's about right.
It would have been a good race, but I'm sorry. Like, the last 50 laps was absolutely incredible. Like, playoff drama, fights, rubbing. It just...
You could honestly argue the last two stages were just... They were just amazing,
Yeah, you could not... It was just jam-packed, and it... Literally, like, I've watched, a bunch of races. It literally... I don't know. It felt like I was a little kid again watching like Dale Jr. out there fucking. It's kind of funny. He's commentating now, and it's just like I don't know. I felt like he's out there, trying to fight for a win as well. But it was it's Bristol, baby.
I don't think there's anything that honestly could have made it better.
God, I don't know. I almost like it's just poetry. It's like they're painting a fucking picture of like a fucking masterpiece right here. So that was beautiful, exceptional fucking racing. So our first 100 rated race
across the board.
That's totally deserving. Bristol race of the year. If we get any better than that, I don't know.
And here we were earlier in the season. We're like, oh yeah, Bristol Dirt's going to be our highest rated throughout the year.
Yeah, there's also debate when people's like, we'll get a little side rant off of Bristol. It's just like a lot of people's like, well, why don't we just, don't use dirt in the spring race? Which, I agree with. I like the novelty of dirt Bristol. We don't have that many short tracks to begin with. So they're like, why take a, race off the best track in the series? Which I think Bristol is the best track in the series. But it's just, like, especially in the spring, like, it's not a lot of people showing up.
Yeah.
And, the race is a little less, but it's always fun. Bristol is always fun. I do like the novelty, and I think, maybe a different take on this. I think it maybe brought up maybe the night race, if it needed any more, like, hype or anything. Because, this was the only race this year that we had on concrete Bristol. Mm-hmm. So, people were super hyped up during the race. They had the playoff drama and stuff like that. Also, the night Bristol race has to be a cutoff playoff race somewhere. Like, if it's the regular season finale, or like the round of 16 cutoff, or the round of 12, or the round of 8 cutoff, it has to be the cutoff race, because it gets fucking intense in there. So it definitely has to be a cutoff. I don't care wherever. If it's the regular season finale, the round 16, 12, 8, make it the championship race, fuck it. But, yeah, just, I think it might have, like, the dirt Bristol might have helped the night Bristol a little bit, like maybe in hype. And also, this weekend delivered. If you watch any of the 3 races, Xfinity, they're crashing at the line. Fucking Bristol here, at Xfinity, I'm like, oh, they're not gonna get better than this. And the Cup race, I think was better. Like, it was a great weekend for Bristol racing. So
absolutely.
Now we get into our first question. Finally, after 33 minutes. Will this rivalry between Elliott and Harvick continue through the playoffs? I think it will. Personally, I think it's not like they're going to be wrecking each other every lap. I just think they're just going to race harder, each other and stuff like that. I think if one of them is knocked out of, like, the playoff format, I just think one of them will, like, go easier. They're not going to be like, okay, I got to race this guy to the bitter end. But I think, for this round at least, they're going to be fighting pretty hard.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's pretty much what I think. It's not going to be, I'm going to crash you out because you nearly crashed me out of the race. It's just going to be probably a lot of back and forth fighting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think it's going to be, I'm going to crash you. It's just going to be, I'm going to race you hard because of what you did.
Right, pretty much.
I think it's pretty much as simple as that.
All right, now question 2. What's more likely? Someone in the current top 3 of playoff standing is knocked below the cut line, or someone outside the playoff wins. So, the current top 3 of the playoff standings, isn't it? I should probably pull this up.
Larson, Truex, Hamlin.
Look at you. So it's Larson, Truex, or Hamlin either getting knocked out or someone outside the playoffs. So that includes the people that were in the round of 16. So if like Tyler Reddick or someone won, they're technically out of the playoffs, so that they can count for this. I definitely don't think Larson's going to get knocked out.
No.
Hamlin's got Talladega. He's pretty good at Vegas. And then Truex. Talladega's a pretty big wild card. I'm going to go with, I think Truex is going to get knocked below the cut line. There's no data to really back it up. I don't have that much confidence into someone outside the playoffs winning, except for Talladega, which I mean they could, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So I'm gonna go someone with the top 3. I think Hamlin's rolling right now. Larson's got 5 billion fucking playoff points. So I'm just gonna go with Truex, just because.
An interesting take. This is actually a really good question. Kind of a hard question, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But I personally don't see either one of those 3 falling below the cut line.
Right.
I do think maybe there's a chance with Truex, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
But to be honest, I feel like somebody outside of the playoffs would have a better chance of winning. I mean, you have some decent drivers out there.
Quinn Houff?
Hey, you never know.
I mean, easy target. I'm sorry, Quinn. Love you. But
I just feel like with Kurt Busch and Tyler Reddick out now, I feel like those are 2 really good drivers that got kicked out. Right. And that still have a chance to win. As to what track it's going to be, it's a little bit harder. Honestly, I would guess that one of, maybe Vegas.
Maybe Vegas would be,
maybe Vegas would be the best spot to go for that. Because Talladega, like you said, it's always a wild card.
Right.
And Charlotte is
Chase Elliott's home ground.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, Vegas is going to be my bet for somebody outside of the top 12 to win.
Yeah, it could happen.
Yeah, and I mean, somebody could make one false move that takes out the top 12 anyway. You know, it's
right.
It's all up to fate at that point.
Yep. Jesus, take the wheel.
There you go.
Let's talk about some news. All right, so this is some rumored stuff. 2311 continued talks with the FRM charters. Mixed out to race trucks or Xfinity for FRM. So Front Row Motorsports and 2311 is talking about changing charters. So 2311 would get all the FRM charters. And then Front Row Motorsports would race, part-time in a Cup Series as a Toyota entry. And then McDowell would get demoted to either Xfinity or trucks. So, it's a big rumor right now. It's just mostly kind of rumor talks, but that's been going on for a couple weeks now. So, continuing talks. We don't have any solid news on that. So, we'll let you know if anything solid goes. I think, Front Row wants to get out. Maybe this is the time. Maybe they can become another Toyota team eventually. More Toyota seats. McDowell can maybe develop that for the Xfinity. And they already got a truck team with the 38 truck. So, we'll see. Totally up in the air. Just a rumor. So nothing concrete, just a lot of talks and rumors going around about that. Disinfectant company Violet Defense is the first sponsor announced for Brad Keselowski at Roush Fenway. It will do multiple races in 22 and 23 with Keselowski. Also has 4 primaries this year, split between Buescher and Newman. So new sponsor, Violet Defense. They're going to be, first sponsor announced for Brad in the 6 car. So we know he's going to run some Violent Defense cars. And then they're going to be on the car this year with Newman and Buscher. I think they're on Buscher's car this week. So look out for that 17 car. Nice purple and black machine. Looks pretty cool. And now we're going to talk about another thing that Bob Procris tweeted out today about practice and qualifying. There's been a lot of questions about, hey, are they bringing practice and qualifying back since we got a new car? This is from Bob Procris. Teams expect practice and qualifying in Cup next year, so that's good. Sounds like NASCAR is leaning towards short 20 to 30 minute practice with no adjustments allowed underneath car, then straight into qualifying. Then impound for majority of events, but some will have another practice still being finalized. So I do like the practice and qualifying coming back. I do not like the 20-30 minutes without no adjustments because it's basically a shakedown of the car. And we don't know how to set up these cars that are going to be brand new in February. So I think they should have at least an hour. Like, we don't got to do the 4-hour shit that we did before, I think. But at least an hour, I think, would be pretty feasible. I mean, we're already going to the track, might as just let them run around for an hour. Let them do what the fuck they want to the cars, And then, qualify. But I think they got to do a longer practice than this 20 and 30 minutes. I mean, it's basically just a shakedown of the car, which is, I guess, better than what we have right now than, having someone forget a piece or something. Just like Larson's engine blew up after lap 5 because they forgot something and they couldn't get it out of the car before it got impounded. So I guess that part will be better, not random like breaks or anything. But I think they should be allowed an hour, do some adjustments, blah blah blah.
Go back to what it used to be. Like instead of us completely getting rid of almost practice and qualifying, especially by making it 20 to 30 minutes and then no adjustments. Like, why do that?
Well, so when we went before, there would be like a couple practices on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even qualifying, and then they would do a couple practices on Saturday, and then some qualifying and stuff. They wanted to do like shorter events, to cost teams less money, which I mean,
right.
Is
that makes
fine.
Sense.
But I think they should at least do an hour. Like, if we
at
can't,
least do an hour.
Like, just let them do an hour. They can't really do that big of adjustments, on the car. So them do an hour, kind of get, kind of fine tune and see what they can try and stuff like that. I don't think it should go back to like the 5 or 6 hours that we used to have before, but at least give them an hour. Kind of shake down the car, see how it's feeling. Oh, it's a little tight. Okay, well, let's make it loose or whatever. I think they should at least do that. So
I'm sure your biggest complainer about it is going to be Kyle Busch.
Oh yeah, because he thrives on practice, so
yeah,
needs that practice. But
his car is terrible.
Fucking junk. Now we're gonna preview Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas! I should not be a singer.
Yeah,
it should just like permanently be. I should just be banned anytime I try to sing. But now onto Vegas. So first mile. Is this our first mile and a half in the playoffs? It is.
Yeah.
Our first regular mile and a half in the playoffs. It's going to be Sunday night, prime time. Be first race of round 12. Just should put on a pretty good race. Usually Vegas is. It's the first race of the playoffs with the 550 package. So we know there's going to be a lot of drafting involved, like more full throttle, more more pack racing, manipulating the draft and all that good stuff with the 550 package. So it's going to be a lot more pack racing than, kind of spread out how it's been. But now we're going to do picks. So picks for this race. Picking the man on the shirt, Alex Bowman, my guy. I think he's going to do well. I think he's got usually does well at Vegas. Should have won both those races last year. So I think and was running pretty good this year, but had a flat tire. But I think that Bowman's going to be up there. So I'm going to pick Alex Bowman to win at Vegas on Sunday.
At first, I was going to go with the obvious pick of Kyle Larson. I mean, he won earlier in the year.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do it. I kind of just shooed myself away from that, and I'm like, you know what? Let's have a little bit of fun. Let's pick somebody that's in a bunch of drama right now, and let's go with Chase Elliott.
Oh.
So, hey, maybe him racing hard will get him a win. You never know. But anyway, I picked him because good car, still in the playoffs.
Right.
Last year's winner.
Yeah, I mean, it could, but, you got to make up some points now because you're behind in the standings.
Nah, I won regular season. You can have the play. No, I'm joking.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. So, from our points, like picking points and stuff, Brian did win the regular season. And I've just been counting it every week, just kind of like seeing, like curious if we did a full season. So now I'm ahead by 30. Because I've just been picking winners out of my ass. So I picked Denny Hamlin with Darlington, so I picked that. And then Kyle Busch for Richmond, so that was no win. And then I picked Larson for Bristol, so that was a win. So Alex Bowman confirmed not to win Las Vegas, so now I have to pick someone else. No, I'm just kidding. I hope I can brace the curse. Let's make 3 out of 4. But, yeah. Thank you guys for watching and listening to another podcast. Brian, thank you for coming along again.
Thanks for having me as always.
Oh, got to. And thank you to Instacart for partnering with us. Instacart makes your life easy. Get deliveries of groceries within the hour or like an hour and a half at most. It's easy. Just sign up for the app. Pick, if you're doing something, sim racing, making a podcast, or just don't want to go to the grocery store, just get your phone out, get the Instacart app, just get all your groceries and it gets delivered to you. So it makes your life easy. Use our link that is in the description below to get 10% off your first delivery, or even free delivery on your first time using the app. So make sure you use our link because you'll get free delivery and give us that free money, please. We're begging, but not as much as Kevin Harvick is going to be begging Chase Elliott not to hit him next week. Just kidding. Anyways, guys, thank you guys all again for listening and watching. We'll see you guys next week.
Take care.